अस्सलामुअलैकुम।
वालेकुम सलाम।
हाँ, आप मुझे बताइए, can you still see the presentation or no? Because I am still getting the conflict thing.
No, we are not seeing the presentation.
That's a bit funny. Just a minute ago, have you given me the sharing option?
Yes. Now we can see the presentation.
Can you see the presentation
Yes.
now?
Now we can see. Yes.
All right, brilliant. All right, brilliant. That's great. Okay, so अल्लाह का नाम लेकर शुरू करता है. I hope कि आगे जो है हम लोगों को मुश्किल और परेशानी का सामना ना करना पड़े. So, Assalamu alaikum and welcome to this workshop on SWOT framework. I hope you all are well, and thank you to NTU staff for giving me an honor to work with you remotely. I sincerely hope that you all will take away the learning offered through this workshop. Before I start, I just have one request. If you do not agree with my pace, अगर आपको लगे कि मेरी pace जो है बहुत ज़्यादा तेज़ है या बहुत ज़्यादा slow है, just to catch up with the time, so you can stop me. All right? I'm sorry, it's kind of a very passive, it's just a one-way thing, so I really don't know what is your reply, and you can indeed use chat box to have the conversation going on.
Via chat, they can.
Yeah, chat box. You can use the chat box.
Yes.
Can I have one or two comments so that I know कि ये chat box जो है work कर रहा है? I don't see any comments. आप लोग में से कोई comment कर रहा है तो I really don't see any comments. I really can't see anything at all. I don't see any comment at all. So I'm really not sure what comments are coming. I can
You please start your presentation.
Right. All right. That's right. So welcome to this presentation, and I really can't say कि आप लोग अपना brief introduction दें because I can't see the comments as well. I cannot hear you all. So I'll give my brief introduction and then we'll hit on the session. So my name is Rabia Tabassum. I have completed MBA from Pakistan. Then I did my post-graduation in operations from Australia. Currently pursuing institute in Ireland. Beside this, I work freelance as a business and HR consultant, and in Ireland with many individuals as well as different organizations. However, my focus is with the is focused with the charitable institutions, और चैरिटेबल इंस्टीट्यूशंस में भी वो इंस्टीट्यूशंस हैं जो स्टार्टअप में हैं, स्टार्टअप फेस में हैं, और उनको किसी भी किस्म की HR से रिलेटेड हेल्प चाहिए होती है तो आई वर्क विद देम एंड देन काइंड ऑफ प्रोवाइड माय कंसल्टेंसी टू देम. I have also more than 10 years of experience working here in Ireland in corporate and charitable sector in training, development, and talent acquisition. That was a very brief introduction, although very detailed introduction. So now we'll hit the session. First of all, ground rules. Again, welcome to the session and ground rules. अगर आप लोगों के कोई भी mobiles on है तो you can turn it off. Although I know आप लोग अभी इस वक्त mute state में हैं. I would also request for the respect for the workshop break times. Try to maintain focus as long and as much as you can. if you need to comment anything, if you need to ask anything, अपना chat team में जो chat box है उसे इस्तेमाल कीजिएगा please. कोई क्वेश्चन पूछना चाहते हैं तो यू आर मोर देन वेलकम थ्रू चैट बॉक्स टीम. एज आई बिलीव देयर इज नो सच थिंग लाइक सिली और स्टूपिड क्वेश्चन. वो तमाम के तमाम टॉपिक्स जो हमारी इस वर्कशॉप से रिलेटेड नहीं होंगे, we'll park them on AOB parking lot, and if we have a time we'll definitely discuss them. Active participation required here, but I really don't know how it will work in this session because at the moment for me it's just a one-way session. अपने ideas or experience भी आप share कर सकते हैं again through chat box, and avoid side conversation. And even if you do the side conversation, I may not be aware because I cannot see you all, I cannot hear you all. And last but not least, the best way to learn is to have fun. So now let's start our first topic. In fact, let's see what are the topics of discussion. So in this workshop, we're going to discuss the acronym SWOT and historical background, PAST, PASTEL, and e-PASTEL analysis, SWOT framework and PASTEL analysis relationship. यानी इन दोनों में क्या relationship है? They both are different framework, although they are used as a diagnostic tool, but they both are different. इनके SWOT analysis के merits, demerits और इसकी application क्या है? And then mind map of how do we work with the SWOT analysis. After learning of all this, then we'll apply this SWOT analysis in class improvement plan. Then we'll also learn the SWOT framework with NTU and how we can apply this in NTU. Then again, SWOT map for class improvement plan, adapting that SWOT analysis for class improvement plan, feedback, and then recap. I know at the moment आप लोगों को कुछ ये थोड़ा बहुत overwhelming लग रहा होगा. So if you think we are going very fast and the information that I'm giving you बहुत ज़्यादा है, तो you can stop me please. So our first, my first slide was actually, it was a short clip for SWOT analysis, but unfortunately I will not be able to run this. However, you will all have the access to this presentation, and you in your own pace and in your own time you can have a look on this. It's a very short video, बहुत मुख्तसर सी video है, and it will give you a gist of what is SWOT analysis. So if you get the time and when you have the access to this presentation, please have a look on that. My next slide is what actually is SWOT analysis. All right, sorry, I missed I missed the thing that, like, what are the aims and objectives of this before we hit the SWOT. So the aim and objective is, like, in my topic of discussion, like I said before, the aims and objective of this workshop is to understand, utilize the SWOT framework in conjunction with PASTEL analysis for personal, professional, and organization competence. And then how can we apply this framework in your sector, which is like to provide quality education to the pupils in National Textile University under best possible environment by adopting a progressive system of education with English as a medium of instruction. So in order to achieve these aims and objectives, like I said before, our topic of discussion will be SWOT, PASTEL, how does it work, what are the merits and demerits of the SWOT analysis, how we can apply this framework in NTU, and how we can apply this SWOT not only in NTU, but how we can use this framework in order to have a class improvement plan, and how we can not only adapt, but how we can make it working. So let's jump to what is actually SWOT analysis is. Are we going in the right pace? Are you all okay with this? Hello? So I'm assuming that you all are here and you all can hear me. Okay, so my next slide is SWOT analysis. What is actually SWOT analysis? So SWOT discovered by Alfred Humphrey in 1960, and he was working with Stanford Research Institute in 1960s. So basically, he wanted to produce a method how a team can work, and in order to produce that mechanism, he developed this thing. Initially, it was SOFT, which is satisfactory, opportunity, faults, and threats. And then later on, by or Uric, they developed this into SOFT. So SOFT analysis is now that we call it a SOFT, which is strength, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. So strength and weaknesses are internal, and opportunities and threats are external to the organization. When we talk strength, in strength comes the item like just in strength, yes. So in strength, the items come um, like people, skill, and capabilities, like what kind of a staff a firm has, what are their capabilities, what is their experience, is it relevant to the industry, is it relevant to their work, is it relevant to what they are supposed to do, and what is their job description. Then what kind of a value employee value proposition programs you have, मतलब किस किस्म के आपके पास programs हैं आपकी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में, कि जिससे आप लोगों को जो है अट्रैक्ट कर सकें कि वो आपके लिए काम करें और आपकी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के स्ट्रेटेजिक गोल्स जो है वो उनको अचीव करें. In terms of resources, we are talking about your location, your business location. अब आप अगर आपका business किधर है, is it within the main city center where your customer can access easily, या is it in remote area? ये चीज़ बहुत ज़्यादा काउंट की जाती है किसी भी सर्विस को ऑफर करने में, किसी भी प्रोडक्ट को ऑफर करने में. एंड देन योर प्रॉपर्टी आपकी प्रॉपर्टी जिस प्रॉपर्टी में आप बैठकर आप अपना बिजनेस रन कर रहे हैं, वो प्रॉपर्टी रेंटेड है या ओन्ड है, और उसमें किस किस्म के बिजनेस इक्विपमेंट हैं, उस प्रॉपर्टी की स्टेट क्या है, उसमें जो आप टेक्नोलॉजी इस्तेमाल कर रहे हैं उसकी स्टेट क्या है, इज इट एडवांस टेक्नोलॉजी और इज इट ऑब्सोलीट टेक्नोलॉजी. मतलब मैं एक बहुत छोटी सी मिसाल दूंगी. सो what happened just few months ago, I was doing a course with Manchester University, and it's a distance learning course. So जब आप डिस्टेंस लर्निंग कोर्स ऑफर कर रहे होते हैं तो आपको पता होता है कि डिस्टेंस लर्निंग कोर्स में आप फिजिकली कोई प्रोग्राम ऑफर नहीं करें. सिंस यू आर ऑफरिंग अ डिस्टेंस लर्निंग, सो आपके पास वो कैपेबिलिटीज हैं या नहीं जिससे आप एक डिस्टेंस लर्निंग कोर्स इफेक्टिवली डिलीवर कर सकते हैं या नहीं. सो दे हैव अ वेरी रोबस्ट, दे हैव अ वेरी डेवलप्ड सिस्टम टू impart a distance learning education. दे हैव काइंड ऑफ अ मूडल. आई डोंट नो आपके इंस्टीट्यूट में ये मूडल है या नहीं है, या हो सकता है आप इसको किसी और नाम से पुकारते हो, विच इज़ बेसिकली, अगर इसकी एक मतलब ऑपरेशनल टर्म अगर ली जाए तो विच इज़ अ पोर्टल वेयर यू हैव ईच एंड एवरीथिंग, वेयर यू हैव योर रिकॉर्डेड लेक्चर्स, वेयर स्टूडेंट हैव देयर ओन स्पेस, वेयर द टीचर्स हैव देयर ओन स्पेस, दैट इज समवेयर ऑन द क्लाउड, मे बी डेफिनेटली ऑन द क्लाउड में. और उसमें जो है फिर लाइब्रेरी का भी आपके पास ऑप्शन होता है कि आप ऑनलाइन लाइब्रेरी को किस तरह से एक्सेस कर सकते हैं, या आपकी यूनिवर्सिटी या कॉलेज जो है अगर कोई और प्रोग्राम ऑफर कर रहा है तो उसको आप किस तरह से ऑनलाइन एक्सेस कर सकते हैं. सो द मैनचेस्टर यूनिवर्सिटी हैज़ अ रियली वेरी स्ट्रॉन्ग पोर्टल, वेरी स्ट्रॉन्ग मूडल सिस्टम. they have their student discussion board, they have their library, and in the library you can access any time any kind of book at any time, and there is no limit to the number, how many number of a student can access that one time, which is really brilliant system. Because अभी जैसे ऑनलाइन अभी सब कुछ हुआ है, तो जब आप बुक्स एक्सेस करने जाते हैं ऑनलाइन लाइब्रेरी में, तो समटाइम्स आपको ये आई डोंट नो हाउ डज इट वर्क इन पाकिस्तान, बट कुछ इंस्टीट्यूट हैं जैसे वो आपको ऑफर करते हैं, उसमें लिमिट होती है कि आप एक वक्त में 10 से ज़्यादा बंदे जो हैं वो ऑनलाइन बुक एक्सेस नहीं कर सकते. द मोमेंट 11% try to access the book, you get the message, your access is denied. But it was not case with the Manchester University. On the top of that, their examination system was really very sophisticated. So they sent you an app that you have to download, a program that you have to download on your system, and once that system is that program is downloaded on your system, they are able to have control of your system. They can monitor you while you are doing your examination, and then even if you try to open any other window in order to cheat or XYZ, I'm not saying cheat, but in order, if you try to open any other window, you will get the prompt and that window will not be open. So while giving the exam, I was really under stress, but later on when I was giving, I was having a kind of reflection, I realized that they had a very good good system to monitor you. Even they were at a very distant place, but they were able to monitor you and your integrity through their program. So these are the kind of things that we that are the internal to the organization, which makes your organization very strong in order to deliver their service or their product. Then comes the intellectual property. When we say intellectual property, it is like they are like your trademark, your copyrights, your goodwill in the market, and which are like intangible, like you cannot see all of these. And then your unique selling point could be and your trade secret. In fact, your unique selling points are your trade secret, which give you a competitive advantage compared to your competitors. So here's my question to you. What do you think in NTU is the intellectual property? What is the intellectual property for NTU? Using your chat box, can I get one or two comments so that let's see. Okay, no worries. I cannot see the comments, so I really don't know. So, okay, no worries. So my next topic of discussion is, just hang on, we haven't finished the threads. So, yeah, this trend, and then resources, like I said, property, your location, equipment, and your financial reserves, and technology. Competitive advantage, yes, product, service, market research, innovation, unique selling proposition. Internal processes. When we say internal processes, that includes all your HR matters and your operational matters. So like all your operational and HR matters is like how do you deal with your employees, and how do you treat them, how do you hire them, how do you retain them. That is all the HR. And then when you say the operations, it is all how do you work internally, what are your agreements, what are your turnaround times, what is the way of communication between different departments. Next is weaknesses. So weaknesses are basically their internal factor within an organization, control, and these are kind of things which can be disadvantages within your organization, and which may hamper your ability to achieve your organization's desired goal. So for example, another example of the weaknesses of your organization could be your staff morale. What is their what is their like how productive they are in order to achieve the goal? Are they really productive? Are they engaged employees? Are they doing what they are supposed to do, or they are just the head counts in the organization? And what kind of communication do you have? Is it टॉप डाउन और बॉटम अप, कि आप लोगों को इंस्ट्रक्शन सिर्फ ऊपर से मिलती है एंड यू जस्ट फॉलो देम, or you have some say in those instructions that what do you feel, is it okay to follow, and you have your own reservations and you have your own thing, no, we can do this thing this way, or we can do this thing this way. So that kind of a communication, is it open communication or is it just a top down communication? So and then what is your hierarchical layout? Hierarchical layout is कि आपके यहाँ जो है is it a team environment, or is it a kind of dictator environment, or is it kind of a mixed environment? What kind of environment do you have in your organization, and what is the management approach towards it? Like the management treat its employees as employees, or just the headcounts, or as the resources, or as the assets? कि मैनेजमेंट की क्या अप्रोच है अपने एम्प्लॉयज को ट्रीट करने में? if there are various approaches to treat employees, and each approach has its own merits and demerits. अगर क्या मैनेजमेंट की अप्रोच ये है कि नो दे आर जस्ट द हेड काउंट्स, they should be here 9 to 5, they should do the XYZ, and that's about it. So this is kind of a really head count approach. But अगर मैनेजमेंट या environment इस तरह का है कि वो ये समझते हैं कि नहीं, our employees are the best resources. So resources are something which can be depleted, and since they can be depleted, they need to be renewed. So in terms of human resources, उनको renew कैसे किया जा सकता है? Through training and development. So these are kind of things which can be weaknesses and which can be strength at the same time. So in resource and assets, what are your core and prime activities besides human resources? कि आपकी prime activities क्या हैं? आपका जो business है वो service deliver कर रहा है या वो product deliver कर रहा है? अगर वो सर्विस डिलीवर कर रहा है तो वो किस सेक्टर में सर्विस डिलीवर कर रहा है? अगर और वो सर्विस किस तरीके उनके कंपेटिटर से किस तरीके से बेहतर हैं या डिफरेंट हैं या दे आर अदरवाइज? देन उस सर्विस को डिलीवर करने में व्हाट इज द स्टेट ऑफ द टेक्नोलॉजी? इज इट अप टू डेट और इट इज आउटडेटेड? How has been your cash flow? Are you tight with the cash flow, or is it easy to have your cash flow? What is the state of the cash flow? Am I going in the right pace? I hope
Yes, it's
so.
fine. It's fine.
All right, brilliant. Now I can hear you. It's otherwise I was feeling like it's just a one-way communication. I think it's better कि instead of using the chat box, it's ये जो communication है, it's a two-way, so it gives a more authenticity to me कि हाँ जी you guys are there, you guys are listening me, क्योंकि मुझे chat box के कोई भी comments इस पर I really cannot see any of the comment even if I posted.
पार्टिसिपेंट्स को अनम्यूट कर दिया गया है, अगर कोई किसी का कोई सवाल हो कमेंट्स हो तो कर सकते हैं प्लीज.
That will be brilliant. That will be brilliant. And you all are requested, please stop me अगर आप लोगों को लग रहा है कि मेरी पेस बहुत ज़्यादा है. Stop me अगर आपने कोई भी क्वेश्चन करना हो, because it is giving you a chance to ask, and it is giving me a chance to know that how am I delivering this session. Is it like, are you all getting it? Are you taking it away or no, or what? So please let me know, right? Thank you. All right, so next is my opportunities which are external, and these are the external These are external attractive factors that represent the reason for an organization to exist and develop. So what opportunities are there within the environment? And let me tell you one thing, ये जो opportunities हैं, ये opportunities हमेशा जो है आपकी organization के बाहर होती हैं. ये opportunities sometimes yes they exist within the organization as well, that there may be a resource जो आपके पास है, which we call a unique selling point, और जो आपके competitor के पास नहीं है. That can be, in that case it could be internal. However, these are the opportunities which exist outside your organization, and you need to grab them. So the opportunities which are external, and their advantages a business can avail during the given period of time to gain the competitive advantage. They include workforce planning, like what kind of a strategies do you have or your firm has or would be engaging in recruiting the top talent employees, and how do you hire them? Like आप लोग की hiring strategy क्या है? How do you hire the top talent? Do you advertise, or do you actively seek through different job boards like LinkedIn, like I'm not saying Facebook. Facebook is not a recruitment platform, or LinkedIn है, और आपके पास जो है Indeed है. आप कौन कौन से प्लेटफॉर्म यूज कर रहे हैं और कौन से एप्लीकेंट ट्रैकिंग सिस्टम यूज कर रहे हैं, आप उनको कितने अच्छे तरीके से इस्तेमाल कर सकते हैं. आपका जो है रैपर जो है ड्यूरिंग द रिक्रूटमेंट, जो फाइनलाइज कैंडिडेट होते हैं, आपका एटीट्यूड उनके साथ किस तरीके का है. And then once they are on board, how do you keep them engaged in order to not only to make them successful during their first probationary period or second probationary period, but also how you keep them engaged throughout their journey of induction. देन आपके पास किस किस्म के जो है आपका जो ऑर्गेनाइजेशनल स्ट्रक्चर है वो किस तरह का है. लाइक आई सेड बिफोर, इज इट टीम, इज इट अ टीम वर्क एनवायरनमेंट, और इसमें बहुत कम लेयर्स हैं, या इट्स काइंड ऑफ अ रेड टेप ऑर्गेनाइजेशन which has a lot of layers. और मतलब एक छोटी सी मिसाल इसकी ये होगी कि आपको कोई अपना अप्रूव करवाना है, अपना कोई भी बजट अप्रूव करवाना है, या आपने अपना कोई आइडिया अप्रूव करवाना है, तो उस आइडिया को अप्रूव करवाने के लिए आपको कितनी लेयर्स क्रॉस करनी पड़ती हैं. आर दे जस्ट वन और टू, और देयर आर लाइक सेवरल लेयर्स व्हिच यू नीड टू क्रॉस इन ऑर्डर टू गेट योर बजट अप्रूव, और इन ऑर्डर टू हैव योर आइडिया अप्रूव. So this is kind of like what kind of a structure does your organization have? And then वैसे just to let you know कि जो flat structure होता है यूजुअली हाई टेक ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस में होता है, और जो जैसे कि ट्रांसलेशन, ट्रांसक्रिएशन और प्रोग्रामिंग जो कंपनीज होती हैं उनमें ये फ्लैट स्ट्रक्चर होता है, बिकॉज दे नीड अप्रूवल वेरी क्विकली. दूसरी जो ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस होती हैं जो प्रोडक्ट इंडस्ट्री में होती हैं, ऑल्दो दैट इज आल्सो प्रोडक्ट, प्रोग्रामिंग इज आल्सो प्रोडक्ट, ट्रांसलेशन ट्रांसक्रिएशन इज आल्सो प्रोडक्ट, बट इनकी जो है ऑब्जर्वेशन क्वाइट क्विकली होती है. सो इनकी जो है अप्रूवल भी उसी हिसाब से लाइक जल्दी चाहिए होती है. तो उनका जो स्ट्रक्चर होता है वो काइंड ऑफ फ्लैट होता है, एंड दे ऑलवेज वर्क इन टीम. Because I have previously worked with the translation and transcreation companies, so the layer was really very thin, and in order to get the approval for any idea or for any product or for anything, there were just 2 layers only, so it was very quick. However, with other organization where I'm currently working as well, so वहाँ पे जो है जो organizational structure है, it's quite red tape kind of a structure, and you need to have different kind of approvals, you need to have different kind of paperwork, and it has to go through different people, and then finally, like if you propose an idea today, you will end up having approval maybe in 2 weeks time, which is not very ideal. So what kind of a structure does NTU has? How long does it take for you to have the approval on any idea or any budgeting? How long does it take in NTU? Anyone? All right. All right. No worries. No worries. So my next slide is threats. So what kind of a what are threats? And again, threats are external factors beyond the organizational control and which could place the organization mission or operation at risk. Yes, that's a big thing. कि ये जो threats हैं ये आपके mission को और आपकी जो है operations को और आपकी जो है strategic planning को जो है risk पे डाल सकती हैं. How an organization can benefit through this through the threats, or how they can manage the threats. There are different ways how these threats can be managed. So first of all, like what basically threats are. So what do you think threats could be for the NTU? What do you think could be the threats for NTU? Anyone? All right. All right, no worries, no worries. So NTU के लिए NTU का core business क्या है? NTU का core business जो है it's delivering they are in the education sector, right? And they're of course, once you're in the education sector, you're offering different programs, and when you're offering different programs, that means what are the disadvantages or what are the threats that are related with the that could impact the progress of the NTU. And of course, one of them is very easily detectable is losing your staff as well as your student to your competitors. Let's suppose one fine morning you wake up and you see there's another building of an XYZ university next to you, and the staff is going there and the students are going there. So this is a threat, and it could be in the real life or it could may not be, but when you are doing the SWOT analysis, you have to take all of these items into account. Changes to demographics, and changes to demographic is basically simply what are the changes in the age during last, let's take it less 10 years, 20 years. So if you take if you if you take example of say China, Brazil, Japan, and the Europe and America, इनकी जो they have aging population, and they are very conscious of that कि इनकी जो population है वो aging population है. They have very less younger population, whereas Pakistan, 60% of the population in Pakistan is youth. They are between 25 to 30, between 25 to 30, and these figures are from 2018. I couldn't find the latest figure because the difficulty I was finding for getting the figures for Pakistan is मुझे बिल्कुल नहीं पता कि यहाँ पे जो है like कौन से जो है कौन सी जो organization है they work for the statistic, whereas in Ireland, in Europe, there are different so पाकिस्तान के पास बहुत अच्छे एडवांटेज है कि इसकी जो पॉपुलेशन है वो यंगर. So younger population also means that activities you organizations and people who are going in, who are running the business, they need to focus this 60% of the population which is younger generation. तो ऐसी एक्टिविटीज ऐसी इन्हें जो है लाइक बिजनेसेस को फोकस करना चाहिए जो कि इनको अट्रैक्ट करें. Education is one of them, very good business for these this kind of to target this kind of this generation. Then increasing regulations. Of course we all know कि pandemic की वजह से गवर्नमेंट रेगुलेशंस बहुत हद तक चेंज भी हुए हैं और इसमें कहीं किसी हद तक सिविरिटी भी है, किसी हद तक नहीं भी है. आई डोंट नो अबाउट पाकिस्तान के वहाँ पे किस तरह क्या है, लेकिन if I talk about Ireland, we are still at level 5 or everything here is closed. Every single thing is closed except schools. जो प्राइमरी स्कूल्स हैं सिर्फ वो खुले हुए हैं, जो ग्रोसरी स्टोर्स हैं सिर्फ वो खुले हुए हैं. इसके अलावा आपको जो है ट्रैवल पे भी पाबंदी है कि विद इन यू कैन ट्रैवल विद इन जस्ट 2 kilometers. And if your work is besides 2 kilometers, then you need to have a work permit to travel for work. So these are kind of things which you need to, like, अगर आप एनटीयू को देखते हैं तो पाकिस्तान में के सिनेरियो में ये रेगुलेशन किस तरह से थ्रेट हो सकते हैं. एंड आई थिंक इस वक्त जो एक थ्रेट है पेंडेमिक की वजह से, आई एम स्टिल नॉट श्योर कि पाकिस्तान में क्या सिचुएशन है, लेकिन आई थिंक कि यही हो रहा है कि आप लोग भी शायद डिस्टेंस लर्निंग पे ज़्यादा फोकस कर रहे हैं और फिजिकल क्लासेस नहीं हो रही हैं. So this could be a kind of increased regulation which has hampered in order to get more admissions for NTU. Then new competitors, आपके new competitors कौन है? आपके locality में कोई नई यूनिवर्सिटी खुली है या नहीं खुली है, या कोई not only यूनिवर्सिटी या ऐसा कोई दूसरा इदारा आ गया है जो कि आपको डिफरेंट किस्म के वही कोर्सेज प्रोवाइड कर रहा है विद लेस कॉस्ट जो कि कोर्सेज आप प्रोवाइड कर रहे हैं. Then changes to the market demand, कि आपकी मार्केट डिमांड में क्या चेंज आया है. आपके जो स्टूडेंट्स हैं जो कि आपका मेन फोकस है, जो कि आपकी मेन मार्केट है, उनका फोकस किस तरफ है. आर दे प्रेफरिंग योर यूनिवर्सिटी, आर दे प्रेफरिंग द प्रोग्राम्स यू आर ऑफरिंग, और दे आर प्रेफरिंग समथिंग एल्स, या वो बाहर की ही किसी यूनिवर्सिटी से डिस्टेंस लर्निंग पे कोई डिग्री लेना चाह रहे हैं. सो दीज आर काइंड ऑफ थिंग्स दैट कैन बी अ थ्रेट to an organization. Pestle factor, we'll discuss it later on. Innovations in technology, कि इसी सिनेरियो को लेते हुए आपकी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन ने कितनी टेक्नोलॉजी में क्या इनोवेट किया है. किस लाइक आई सेड बिफोर कि जैसे बहुत सारी यूनिवर्सिटीज़ जो हैं यहाँ पे, नॉट ड्यू टू पेंडेमिक, आई हैव बीन हियर फॉर लास्ट 12 years, तो जहाँ जहाँ से भी मैंने मुख्तलिफ कोर्सेज किए, they have their own portal, they have their own Moodle or what you can call it loop, and even without going to the college and without speaking to the lecturer, you have each and everything there on the Moodle. You're talking about your mental health strategies, you're talking about difficulties in learning, if you're talking about how to write a good essay, if you're talking about how to be critical, if you're talking about how do I write a good essay, how do I write a good assignment, what are the examination strategies, they all are there on the Moodle, and you don't need to speak to any of the lecturer. Still, there are different teams working with the students who still have so these are kind of things that they have used the technology and innovation for the benefit of their business. Then comes to the cost of investment. What is the cost that has incurred in order to run that huge business? And then loss of market share. Again, loss of market share has a very direct connection to the losing staff to the competitors, as well as changes in the market demand. With this, we come to our next slide, which is how pastel analysis SWOT framework works well with the pastel analysis. So CIPD is Chartered Institute of Personnel Development, and it is a charitable organization. However, it works in the area of management and HR. And again, यहाँ पे जितने भी यूरोप में और स्पेशली यूरोप एंड यूके में और आयरलैंड में जितने भी लोग HR का सब्जेक्ट पढ़ रहे होते हैं, अगर उन्हें अपनी एजुकेशन को ऑथेंटिकेट करना होता है तो one of the best ways that they show that they are the member of CIPD, and CIPD is a very well known and prestigious body, and if you have a membership of it, then that means कि आपकी जो भी एजुकेशन है, इट इज ए कंटिन्यूस, इट इज इन द कंटिन्यूस प्रोसेस ऑफ डेवलपमेंट. सो ये बहुत अच्छे और लेटेस्ट सर्वे कराते हैं, और इनकी जो भी मटेरियल होता है, जो कंटेंट होता है, दैट इज रियली रियली वेरी अप टू डेट, एंड आई वुड प्रेफर टू यूज देयर मटेरियल रादर देन एनी अदर ऑर्गेनाइजेशन. सो इनका CIPD ने जो अपना एक सर्वे करवाया था, दे सजेस्ट दैट स्ट्रेंथ एंड वीकनेसेस आर इंटरनल टू द internal environment of the organization, whereas threats and opportunities are external, and they emerge from the past or pastello or staple analysis. So again, I'm not going to go into the detail, but you have to know कि external में जब हम threat की और opportunities की बात कर रहे हैं, तो वो कहाँ से emerge होंगी, और हम जो थ्रेट है वो और किस शेप में हो सकती है आउटसाइड द ऑर्गेनाइजेशन से. इफ वी टॉक अबाउट द पॉलिटिकल, सो पॉलिटिकल में गवर्नमेंट पॉलिसीज किस तरह की हैं, क्या वो आपको आपके बिजनेस के लिए फ्रेंडली हैं, या वो आपके बिजनेस को हैम्पर कर रही हैं. पॉलिटिकल स्टेबिलिटी क्या है. For Pakistan, I think political stability is always unstable. Every time a government changes, the policies are changed, and they really impact the business very severely. Tax policies क्या हैं? Tax policies, are they strict or are they lenient? What kind of personal tax or property tax or business tax a business needs to pay? इंडस्ट्री रेगुलेशन क्या है. आपकी एजुकेशनल सेक्टर में जो है क्या रूल्स एंड रेगुलेशंस चल रहे हैं गवर्नमेंट की तरफ से. आपको किन किन पॉलिसीज़ को जो है फॉलो करना पड़ता है, और उसका जो है रिकॉर्ड रखना पड़ता है, और गवर्नमेंट को अपडेट करना पड़ता है. ग्लोबल ट्रेड क्या चल रही है, ग्लोबली क्या हो रहा है आपके अपने ही सेक्टर में. एजुकेशन सेक्टर में ग्लोबली किस किस्म के ट्रेंड्स चल रहे हैं, किस किस्म की टेक्नोलॉजी इस्तेमाल हो रही है, क्या इनोवेशन ब्रेक थ्रू हो रही हैं. एंड देन एग्रीमेंट्स एंड रिस्ट्रिक्शंस, अगेन ग्लोबल ट्रेड की ही क्या एग्रीमेंट्स हैं आपके, हमारे पाकिस्तान के क्या ग्लोबल एग्रीमेंट चल रहे हैं, इकोनॉमिकल एग्रीमेंट चल रहे हैं, ट्रांसफ़र और फ्री फ्लो ऑफ लेबर के हमारे साथ जो है किन कंट्रीज़ के साथ हमारे जो है एग्रीमेंट्स हैं कि हम उन्हें लेबर या सर्विस फ्री ऑफ कॉस्ट, फ्री ऑफ टैक्स प्रोवाइड करेंगे. एंड देन सोशल, व्हाट आर द कंज्यूमर ट्रेंड्स. अब पाकिस्तान में कंज्यूमर ट्रेंड्स क्या चल रहा है, उनका जो है उनकी बाइंग हैबिट्स क्या है. एंड व्हेन यू से अबाउट द सोशल, बेसिकली इसमें आप जो है जिसे आप कहते हैं कि कंज्यूमर पर्सोना जो है वो डेवलप करते हैं कि आपका कंज्यूमर कौन है जो कि आपकी सर्विसेज इस्तेमाल करेगा. तो पर्सोना में आप ये डेवलप करते हैं कि जो आपका कंज्यूमर है वो किस एज ब्रैकेट का है, किस इकोनॉमिक स्टाटस से उसका ताल्लुक है, उसकी बाइंग हैबिट्स क्या है, उसका लाइफस्टाइल क्या है, उसका मतलब उसकी कैरियर चॉइसेस क्या क्या हो सकती हैं, और क्या आप जो बिज़नेस ऑफ़र करें, आप जो सर्विस ऑफ़र करें, क्या वो उसकी चॉइस में हो सकता है या नहीं हो सकता है. वर्क लाइफ बैलेंस क्या है उसका अगेन इफ़ यू से द लाइफ स्टाइल, अगेन व्हाट टाइम he or she's your consumer spend on the social media, what are the pattern he or she is using the social media. And then when we say demographic, yes, कि आपके जो आपका जो कंज्यूमर है उसकी डेमोग्राफिक्स क्या है, वो किस एज ब्रैकेट में है, और डिपेंडेंट है या इंडिपेंडेंट है. एंड देन वी टॉक अबाउट द इन्वायरमेंटल में व्हाट आर द एनवायरमेंट. लेट्स से कि अगर NTU है और NTU टेक्सटाइल में है, लेट्स सपोज. सो टेक्सटाइल इंडस्ट्री में जो एक बहुत अहम चीज़ है जो which is impacting global environment is like वेस्ट आपकी जो है वेस्ट मैनेजमेंट आपकी क्या है, आपकी वेस्ट मैनेजमेंट एक्टिविटीज़ क्या हैं. How do you manage the waste that is being produced through the textile industry? What are your strategies for that? And is it harmful for the global environment, or even the place where your factory or your factory is located? तो वहाँ का एनवायरनमेंट किस तरह का है, आप उस किस हद तक उसे पोल्यूट कर रहे हैं, और अगर आप पोल्यूट नहीं कर रहे तो उसको आप किस तरह से मैनेज कर रहे हैं दैट इट इज़ नॉट पोल्यूटिंग द एनवायरनमेंट। फिर गवर्नमेंट की जो है उस पर क्या रिस्ट्रिक्शंस हैं, सस्टेनेबिलिटी क्या है आपके इस प्रोग्राम की, चाहे आप एनटीयू का कोई भी प्रोग्राम ले लें, एजुकेशन का ले लें प्रोग्राम, या इवन आप अपने लेट्स सपोज स्टाफ की डेवलपमेंट का प्रोग्राम ले लें, तो उसकी सस्टेनेबिलिटी क्या है। And when you say sustainability, it's like how long can you run it, and what are your ways and what are your means to run that program. CSR, a very big buzz nowadays, especially in Europe. I really don't know about in Pakistan कि corporate social responsibility में क्या हो रहा है क्या नहीं हो रहा। और अगर आप corporate social responsibility की बात करते हैं तो corporate business is a corporate and it has different stakeholders. So अगर हम NTU की मिसाल की बात करते हैं तो NTU के कौन से different stakeholders हैं। सो NTU के का स्टाफ है, इसके स्टूडेंट हैं जिनसे ये दूसरी सर्विसेज ले रहे हैं, जिनसे आप जो आपके सप्लायर्स हैं, जिनसे आप माल ख़रीदते या बेचते हैं, उनके साथ आपके कैसे जो हैं ताल्लुकात हैं, या किस किस्म के एग्रीमेंट्स हैं, आप उन्हें वक्त पर पे करते हैं, या आप अगर किसी को सर्विस प्रोवाइड करें, लेट्स सपोज स्टूडेंट्स, वो आपको वक्त पर फीस देते हैं या नहीं देते हैं, या आपकी अपनी तनख्वाहें आप लोगों को वक्त पर मिलती हैं या नहीं मिलती हैं। These all factors come under corporate social responsibility. And then it's not only that it's a matter of payment, but it also is how every stakeholder treat other stakeholders. So it could be management treating you guys treating student treating you guys, and it all is a kind of a cycle which comes under corporate social responsibility. And then like supply chain and management, that is all there are different threads to corporate social responsibility, and each and every thread has its own rights and ethics as well. So how are we going now? Are we okay with the speed? Are we okay with the content? Can I have 1 or 2 yeses, please?
I hope it's fine. You may
it's
continue.
Fine. All
yes.
All right. Is it all making sense?
Yes.
And is it relatable to your industry and your work?
Almost.
Almost. All right. I'll try to make it more relatable with your industry. So my next slide is slide 12. And which is pastel is, like I said before, pastel is जिसमें हमने previous slide में discuss किया था political, social, environment. So now we'll discuss TEL, technology, economic and legal. अगर आप इसको थोड़ा सा वक्त दें और इसको बैठकर सोचें तो ये जो पूरा फ्रेमवर्क है, इसका एक एक जो थ्रेड है वो एक दूसरे से बहुत ज़्यादा रिलेटेड है। एंड अभी आप लोग को शायद आप सबको बहुत ज़्यादा लग रहा होगा कि इट्स क्वाइट ओवरवेलमिंग द इंफॉर्मेशन, लाइक यू गाइस आर बम्बार्ड विद द इंफॉर्मेशन। मुझे क्योंकि ऑनेस्टली स्पीकिंग आई नो दिस इज़ अ लॉट टू कवर इन जस्ट 2 hours, एंड आई रियली अप्रिशिएट योर पेशेंस कि आप लोग इतनी ओवरवेलमिंग इंफॉर्मेशन जो है ना अपने अंदर एब्जॉर्ब करें। तो इसको इस तरह से समझें कि अगर आप कोई भी डिसीजन लेते हैं, कोई सा भी डिसीजन, तो उसके लिए आप कौन कौन से फैक्टर्स कंसिडर करते हैं, और उन फैक्टर्स को आप दो डायरेक्शंस में जो है उसे डिवाइड कर लें कि इंटरनल एंड एक्सटर्नल। तो कोई भी डिसीजन लेने के लिए आपके इंटरनल कौन से फैक्टर्स होंगे जिन्हें आप कंसिडर करेंगे, और एक्सटर्नल कौन से फैक्टर्स होंगे। अगर आप इस तरह से समझेंगे तो शायद समझने में बहुत आसानी होगी, बिकॉज आई नो इट इज़ इट्स नॉट एन ईजी ग्रास्प कॉन्सेप्ट। सो अगर इस तरह से समझेंगे तो आसानी होगी। So now I'll discuss the technology and economic and legal aspect. Technology में it's everything whatever you learn about the technology कि उसको किस तरह से इस्तेमाल किया जा रहा है। और टेक्नोलॉजी में I tell you one thing कि टेक्नोलॉजी में जो है ना सिर्फ यही नहीं है कि अगर आप टेक्नोलॉजी की बात करें तो आप इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर और नेटवर्क की बात करेंगे, या आप क्लाउड कंप्यूटिंग की बात करेंगे, या आप प्रोग्रामिंग की बात करेंगे. टेक्नोलॉजी इज एवरीथिंग. इवन द सोशल मीडिया प्लेटफॉर्म, इवन द एप्लीकेंट ट्रैकिंग सिस्टम, इवन द लिंक्डइन, इवन द फेसबुक, ये तमाम के तमाम जो हैं ये टेक्नोलॉजी में ही आते हैं. एंड हाउ यू कैन यूज ऑल ऑफ दीज platforms and different programs and cloud technology and networking and infrastructure as a factor. They're out, they could be inside and they could be outside your organization, and how best you can utilize them. So like जैसे in order to reduce the staff, there are robotics now, एंड आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस का भी बहुत ज़्यादा इस्तेमाल हो रहा है, और ऑटोमेटिक रिस्पॉन्स जो है वॉइसेस, उनका भी बहुत ज़्यादा इस्तेमाल हो रहा है. बहुत सारी जो है ऑर्गेनाइजेशन जो है उन्होंने अपना बजट कट डाउन, स्टाफ कट डाउन करके जो है ये सारी टेक्नोलॉजी इस्तेमाल कर रहे हैं. जैसे मैनी ऑफ द ऑर्गेनाइजेशन हियर इन आयरलैंड, दे डू you won't find any person receiving a call and saying, hi, hello, how are you, how can I help you. There are also many big organizations have this automatic generated response. Press this button to do this, press that button to do this, press this button to do this. I don't know how things are working in Pakistan. Are there any, like यहाँ पे आयरलैंड में जितनी भी गवर्नमेंट सर्विसेज हैं, they have this automatic response system. How about in Pakistan? पाकिस्तान में किस तरह से है? Is it like that with the big organizations only, or the government organization, or what? Can I have one or two answers, please? Hello? All right. All right, no worries, no worries. So the economic, what is the exchange rate? The exchange rate with your with different countries, or the exchange rate with the kind of trade agreements you have, what are the exchange rate apply, and then the globalization. Okay, all over the do you have just one currency, or do you have while doing your business you have various currencies? It's just with one मतलब किसी एक सप्लायर के साथ आप डॉलर में डील कर रहे हैं, दूसरे सप्लायर के साथ आप यूरो में डील कर रहे हैं, तीसरे सप्लायर के साथ आप स्टर्लिंग पाउंड में डील कर रहे हैं. So what kind of exchange rate your organization is incurring, or do you have just one currency? Then economic growth किस तरह से, is it your economy is growing or is it declining? Is it, do you have inflation at the moment, or it's a deflation? In Ireland we are in the state of deflation at the moment, not in inflation. So I suppose in Pakistan it could be inflation. And then kind of interest rate do you have on your borrowings? अगर आप IMF से लेते हैं तो उसके ऊपर आपने इंटरेस्ट रेट कितना पे किया, एंड देन इन रिटर्न वो इंटरेस्ट रेट आप जो फर्दर बोरोइंग करते हैं तो उससे किस तरह से रिकवर करेंगे. वो रेट ऑफ इंटरेस्ट, of course, in order to cover the IMF interest rate, that will be higher, of course. Cost of living क्या है लोगों का? एक जनरल कॉस्ट ऑफ लिविंग क्या, इज इट हाई, इज इट लो, और इज इट जस्ट मॉडरेट? कंज्यूमर स्पेंडिंग किस तरह की है, व्हाट आर द हैबिट्स ऑफ कंज्यूमर स्पेंडिंग, और उनकी हैबिट्स, जब आप बात करते हैं कि कंज्यूमर स्पेंडिंग हैबिट्स, तो उनकी किस चीज़ पे वो ज़्यादा स्पेंड करते हैं? Is it like luxury item, technology item, or staple item, or just जिसे हम कहते हैं कि रोज़मर्रा की ज़िंदगी के जो अहम ज़रूरी आइटम्स हैं उस पर स्पेंड करते हैं? किस तरह की उनकी स्पेंडिंग हैबिट्स हैं? लीगल की बात करेंगे तो एम्प्लॉयमेंट लॉ है. I really don't know what is the state of employment law in Pakistan, or labor law in Pakistan, or common law, or for the sake of like health and safety and regulation and safety at work regulation, how do these things work? Whereas I suppose textile industry में labor law or health and safety regulation, they should be really strict and should be adhered to. So would anyone put some shed some light on this? I would really appreciate कि आपके if we can discuss few things कि आपके जो लेबर लॉ है या हेल्थ एंड सेफ्टी लॉ जो है टेक्सटाइल इंडस्ट्री में किस तरीके के हैं? कैन एनीवन से फ्यू वर्ड्स ऑन दैट प्लीज? Can you all hear me? All right, I'll jump on to the next slide, which is SWOT and pastel framework relationship. So it's just showing that what is the relationship between the opportunities and threats with the pastel analysis, and you can see that opportunities and threats which are external to the organization, and of course जो भी आपके political, economical, social, legal, environmental or technological जो भी aspects हैं, they if you just avoid if you just take out the technology, then political, economical, social, legal and environmental, they all exist outside your organization, and that is the reason they when you do the opportunities and threats analysis, you need to do the pastel analysis as well. With this we come to our we come to the merits and demerits. So when we talk about the merits of using the SWOT work analysis or SWOT work, SWOT framework, SWOT framework as a diagnostic tool. So it's just a very simple 4-box framework. It helps you to understand what are your strength as an organization, what are your strengths that is within your organization, what are your weaknesses of the organization, and how you can uh, turn your turn your opportunities and threats into the strength and strength of your organization. It also helps senior managers to focus on your strength, and based on their strength they can develop different strategies and build up based on those strategies they can build different opportunities for the organization, for the staff, and for the customers as well. लॉन्ग टर्म के लिए भी जो अगर आप स्वॉट फ्रेमवर्क को एज अ डायग्नोस्टिक टूल इस्तेमाल करते हैं, तो ये लॉन्ग टर्म में भी आपको आपके जो भी थ्रेट्स हैं उसको वीट आउट करने में, जो आपके बिजनेस को रिस्क होता है उसको वीट आउट करने में जो है बहुत हेल्प करता है ये. Like I said before, it also helps you to spot your opportunities and exploit them fully. It is also very flexible in a way it does not have a certain and detailed way to how to conduct it, and you have to do step 1 2 3 4 5, otherwise you will not be able to do it rightly, or you will not be able to avail it. So these are the merits of SWOT analysis. Next, my topic of discussion is demerits. First of the basic demerit that I can see is when you do the SWOT analysis, you might go into too much detail. And when you go into too much detail, it becomes a paralysis by analysis. It's like you're just bogged down with the details. And if your detail is not if your research is not organized, then you will not be it will not lead you to any conclusion. So that's the one thing. You need to decide what areas you need to look into, you need to do the research, and then you will be able to utilize it fully. Otherwise it'll be a paralysis by analysis. The second thing is the data you are using. It could be the data you are using for another thing, which is a very important thing, which I think I have not included in it, is you need to first decide what are the authentic ways of getting the information. If you do not have authentic ways of getting the information, there is no point you conduct this SWOT analysis if you're not sure of the authenticity of the data, that the data you are getting, is it authentic or no. That's the most important point. And then, like I said, like access to the quality internal data resources can be time consuming and politically difficult. Yes, in some countries and even in some organizations, it is difficult to get the internal data of the organization. And then, like I said before, it is, since it does not have any structure or like kind of details that you should, point one you should do this, point two you should do this. So it's not very detailed in structure, and how often even the pace of it is not always confirmed. It all depends upon the need of the business and the time of the business, how and the resources of the business, then that when they would like to do the SWOT analysis. And if you want it to be very effective, it has to be done on regular basis. It again depends how regular it depends upon the nature of business and your need of the SWOT analysis, that how regularly you should do it. However, CIPD suggests that from 6 months to 1 year, it has to be like reviewed. This data has to be reviewed. With this, we come to our next slide, which is application of SWOT analysis. So now, having learned a lot about, and to the extent of getting overwhelmed, I suppose, so the application of SWOT analysis, कि आप इसको कहाँ कहाँ इस्तेमाल कर सकते हैं. आप इसको अपनी पर्सनल डेवलपमेंट प्लानिंग में इस्तेमाल कर सकते हैं, स्ट्रेटेजिक ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के साथ स्ट्रेटेजिक प्लानिंग में जो है इसको अप्लाई कर सकते हैं. Any kind of general planning, workshop sessions, session for generating ideas, problem solving, competitor evaluation, product evaluation, and decision making. So these are some of the application of the SWOT analysis. Now that we have learned like what is SWOT analysis, what does the acronym stand for, and what is the relationship of SWOT with pastel analysis, and how do they work, SWOT and pastel analysis. So we are going to use that information, how we can do that, how we can use SWOT framework for class improvement plan. So basically, like if we just do it in a systematic manner, so conduct the SWOT analysis and document the finding as a step one, and then scanning of internal and external environment, and based on that you develop an action plan document. So this is just a basic gist, but in detail how we do it. So this is how we do it in detail. So what are you gonna do in detail is, just 1 second. So basically what you do, you decide an objective. How do you conduct a SWOT analysis for class improvement plan or in any other area? So what you do, basically you decide an objective, that what is the objective, that what do you want to achieve, and that objective should be smart. And yeah, once you decide the objective, then you decide the team members who is going to be involved. Once you decide that, then you also decide who is going to do what. Say you arrange a team of 5 people, and one of them is, say, leading the team, and he is distributing the work, and he's saying like, person A is going to do the strength analysis of the organization, and person 2 is going to do the opportunities, 3 threat, 4 strength, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. So all 4 persons are going to take one area, and they're going to develop they're going to do the research on each of the area, and then once that research is done, then what are your conclusion based on that, and based on that conclusion, what is your strategy going forward for any of the for the objective that was established in step 1. So this is basically a kind of general a process to follow while doing the SWOT framework, while using a SWOT framework as a diagnostic tool. So here we are going to take a break. It's time for a break. Everyone should be happy now, and we'll break for 15 minutes, and then we'll resume our next session. So before we break, can I have Can I hear all of you and let me know how was the pace and is it too much overwhelming or is it okay for all of you?
Thank you very much. If anyone has any question or comment, he or she can ask.
All right, so before we break for 15 minutes, does anyone have any question related to this topic? I would be happy to answer.
अगर किसी का कोई क्वेश्चन है या कोई कमेंट्स है तो वो पूछ सकते हैं.
And if not, that's okay. We can break for 15 minutes and then we'll resume. It's for me, it's 8 to 10. Sorry, 8 past 10. So is it? How about if we come after 15 minutes, say 20, 25?
Yes, it's okay.
25 past 10?
Yes, it's okay.
आपके पास क्या टाइम होगा? मुझे अंदाजा नहीं.
3:25. 3:25.
3:25. Okay, so we'll resume 3:25. Is that okay?
Okay.
All right, brilliant. Then see you then. See you later.
Thank you. तमाम मेंबर्स पार्टिसिपेंट्स से रिक्वेस्ट है.
मैम ऑनलाइन क्लास तो वैसे ही चल रही है.
Maybe wait.